Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Sang Media Podcast. I'm your host, Vinny Sang. Today I have a special guest with me.
Hi, I'm Tracy Lay.
If you guys don't know who Tracy is, she's actually a close friend of mine since about middle school. We've known each other for about 8 years now. I just finished college and graduated at VCU 2020, and then she just finished her 4-year contract with the military. And that's going to lead to what today's subject is going to be about, which is the different experiences after high school when she left to the military, joining the Marines, and I went through community college and a university. So, Tracy, how was it like in the Marines?
It's definitely a lot different. Like you don't really expect. There's a lot of hardships that I never thought I would experience just yet. I
Mm,
had to grow up very early. I had to be my own person at such an early age, living on my own and just taking care of myself. So it was different, especially like the way how things are run in the military are very different
mm,
than what you usually would think is the norm.
the norm. Okay, so what are some of the norms that I guess us civilians think are compared to how it's actually like?
So I hate to say it, but it's like this ranking structure in the military really sometimes it's either good, it's like a hit or miss. It's like when you get to be in a good unit, people actually care about you, or you get to be in a unit where nobody really cares about you. And I guess I kind of drew the short stick.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, so I didn't have really my experience was kind of like difficult. I faced a lot of like leaders that really were so shit. um can we cuss?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of like people that power trip, like they pick up this rank, and it's what's very important in the military is it's like you don't like you have to respect the rank that's above you, because like I guess like that's what we were taught in the military in boot camp. And especially like some people are not supposed to get promoted to the next rank, but like some people just slip through the cracks. They pick up, they start power tripping, they tell you what to do, they sit back, they make fun of you, and you, because like you're the rank below them, you kind of just have to take it. And really, like at the time that I was in, it was a lot more stricter. You really can't trust no one, how I felt. And it's a lot of hardship.
Interesting, interesting. So kind of like the ranking system is basically, like I guess in a school structure or like a company structure, school wise, like the people who are higher rank are the quote unquote popular kids that pick on like the non popular kids that are like quote unquote nerds and stuff like that.
Not entirely. Like, I mean, eventually everyone gets to be promoted. It's just like, a lot of people just kind of abuse their powers with how like they run things, and it's the way our mentality is, especially how we were taught in boot camp. It's like leaders are supposed to take care of you. We're supposed to make sure that you're mentally okay and that you're physically okay to be able to get the job done, get the mission done. And that's how we were taught. Now, a lot of people, a lot of leaders that I've encountered really don't care about that. It's always like, stop being a bitch, get the fuck up, and continue and finish your work because nobody gives a fuck about you.
So kind of like instead of like helping lifting you up, it's kind of like you just have to get it done and it's on you type of thing.
Yeah, so no matter how you feel, no matter how depressed, however you feel about something, get the job done because the mission comes first before yourself. So that's kind of the mentality that all of us were kind of trained in boot camp, to push through our mental and to get the mission done.
Hmm. Dang, I'm sorry to hear that, but I mean, personally, I've like watched like military stuff growing up, at home, on like Discovery Channel or like, I don't know what channels they were. I just watched them a lot when I was a kid because like,
Yeah.
I was really into military stuff. Like back then when I was younger, I actually wanted to like join because I wanted to be a badass type of thing. Um, and kind of what you described is kind of like what I envisioned it to be in a way, but at least a little bit like when you get the job done, then you get praise. But it's sounding like even if you get the job done, it's like you could have done better.
Yeah, so it's a lot of like, no matter how hard you pushed yourself, it was always like, well, you could have done it better. Or like, well, next time, well, now I know what your limit is, we're going to push you harder. I guess, like, in a way, it's kind of good and bad because it pushes you to your limit and past your limit to get better. But sometimes, if you do it too much, I think you need a break sometimes from when things get hard.
Yeah, because like mentally, that could be really straining. Like in the beginning, right? It could like train you and push you to do harder things, and it's like they're training you, right? It's like it's what the purpose is for, to make sure you go through this intensive training, because you don't know what's going to happen when you like go out there, right?
Sometimes it gets really demotivating. Like, sometimes, like, there would be days you don't want to get up, you don't want to go to work, but you know you have to because there are consequences with things that you do.
Yeah, because there was like rules and guidelines that you had to follow because you're like under a contract, right? Oh, true. Damn. Well, Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I can't compare to like college experiences, I guess, because like military is more like physical and mental, and like depending on how strong you are mentally. Well, at least in my opinion, with my college experience, it's mostly like a mental battle, right? It's like, damn, I don't even know if I'm going in the major that I want to go into. I don't even know, like, if I could fit into these type of groups of crowds. I'm taking all these classes at once. I have homework here, I have a project here, I have a final here, I have a midterm here. I need to pass this or else I'm $50,000 in debt, type of thing. Or like, I don't want to repeat another semester because that's another like $10,000. And well, that was going through my mind. I was like, I was in the mentality of like, well, at least in the beginning stages, right? I was like, all right, it's a huge shift. Like in high school, I fucked up basically. Like freshman year, good grade. Sophomore year, junior year, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Really?
Yeah, I went from a 3.5 GPA to sophomore year and junior year. I went down to like a 2.5.
Bro, I never knew.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, I think I pushed too hard because in freshman year I did really good, and my counselor recommended I try to like honors or AP. As soon as I hit honors and AP, I was like, I don't even Shakespeare. You're too fucking confusing,
Bro.
So like I was talking to my counselor. I was like, should I like stick it through or like should I like go down? And she was like, it's better if like you try to stay within honors and AP and stuff like that. So like it looks better for college. And I was like, all right. And then I just ended up getting D's. And then as soon as I switched, I was like, okay, yeah, this semester, I was like, I talked to my English teacher. I was like, yeah, like everyone gets it, but I don't get it. And I'm trying. So like, I was like, I think it's a good choice if I go back to regular English and stuff like that. And as soon as I went to regular English, like, it was like, wow, this person knows a lot, because it was just like, it was common sense stuff, at least to me, in there. Like, and then my grade went back up to a B, but since I had those first 2 quarters of C's and D's, it already brought my grade down a lot.
Yeah.
And then senior year, that's when I picked up my shit, and then also like senioritis, like as soon as it hit like as soon as it hits like the second semester of high school. Dude, high school was so long ago. I don't even really remember it completely. But like, I remember as soon as it hit second semester, my grades were already set. I just skipped like my 7th and 8th period every time because we were only watching movies. So I was like, I told my mom, I was like, hey, can you just write me a note? I always got a note to leave, and I just left dead ass out all the time.
How come I never knew that about you?
Yeah.
Like, I remember in junior year, I was like, damn, everybody's taking AP. And I was like, all right, I'm already an immigrant. My English is so trash. Whatever, we're going to push it because everybody is doing it.
Yeah.
So I signed up for AP, and I look at the summer assignment. And I was like, oh, fuck, no, I can't do this shit. So I immediately emailed my counselor. I was like, hey, Joyce dropped me down to honors. Like, I can't do this shit. I don't even understand half these words on it.
I'm saying, yeah.
So, yeah, I dropped down, and then, like, that's how I was able to maintain. But I saw it, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I gotta get the fuck out of there, because fuck it.
Yeah.
And then, was it senior year when I had statistic?
Oh, it was probability. Yeah, it was probability and statistics. If you weren't the really smart kid that took algebra like 5.
All right.
Or trigonometry.
Chill now.
Oh, I was in fucking statistics too, so.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, no.
No, but like the teacher was so bad in statistics, dude. She literally read off a textbook. And I was like, So why is the answer that? And she's like, because the textbook said that was the answer. And I was like, bro, are you fucking serious, bro? I don't fucking know what the hell is going on. And I literally saw my grades go from B plus, B, B minus, C plus, C, C minus. And when I saw a C minus, I was like, no, this shit's gonna get worse. I was like, I gotta get dropped out. And that's when I took journalism with you. I dropped into journalism.
Wait, so you didn't need to finish statistics for
Hell
your
no,
thing?
cause the teacher was so bad. She didn't explain shit. And I was like, how are you gonna expect me to know all this if you're gonna read off a PDF file?
Oh, I thought you were like required. Oh, that's if you probably wanted like the advanced high school diploma.
No, I still got
something.
the advanced, but algebra 2. And then you get to pick if you want to go into pre-calc or you want to go to statistics.
Interesting. Why did I take statistics then? I don't know. Whatever.
I thought you took pre-calc because every smart kid took pre-calc. And those that didn't give a fuck took statistics.
I took pre-calc in college, freshman year of college, and I almost failed that.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I got like a C, the C2B. Like I was doing really good in the beginning, and then I hit like one chapter in freshman year of college, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
See, that's why I think that's like one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to college. I was like, I looked at this and I was like, man, you really expect me to go to school again for another 4 years?
Yeah. I mean, granted, so because I remember in high school you were like you joined ROTC,
Yeah.
and then you were like really into it. Like there was days where you're like, "Yo, can you come time me? Like I need to train." It's like, "Oh, can I go to the gym with you?" And like, what workout helps this muscle? And I would help you with
Yeah.
that type of thing. And I was like, "Dang, she's probably gonna have a good time in the military." And then
Yeah.
a
Look,
year
man.
after hit, and you text me like, "Dude, I'm fucking suffering."
Yeah, so like when I was in art, like JRTC, it's like nothing like the military. It's so easy, and I don't know, I guess like the compassion that everyone has, like in that class, like especially like the people that I went with, I was like, man, this shit's so fire. Like if that's how the military is, fuck it, 20 years. It's like I'm gonna have a good time in the military, and then military is nothing like it. I don't know if it's because I joined the wrong branch, but I was like, oh, well, fuck it.
Well, I think maybe you went through a more like strict and more difficult path
Yeah.
because you went from straight from high school to the military. And one thing I've learned because I have like friends and like when I went to VCU that went through ROTC in the military too and stuff like that. They were like, yeah, the people who go like straight from high school, they're like treated like trash. But like he was like me, I'm like doing ROTC at VCU and doing military stuff, so I'm already automatically getting a higher rank because I'm getting education.
So
and
that's
stuff like that.
different. Yeah, so that's different. Now, if you go to college, you get a bachelor's, you do ROTC there, now you're going to get commissioned as an officer. Now, that's different than an enlisted. When I go straight out of high school, I don't have a degree, so I'm going to be an enlisted personnel. So it's different. Like, for officers, you have to get respected, but there's still like some jokes going around like, oh, bro, this dude is 21 years old and I'm 24 years old in the military. You expect me to respect that motherfucker? Like, hell no. Yeah, so
Interesting.
they think that's how it is, and usually they're super like motivated, like fresh out of college and stuff like that. I'm gonna be a great leader, and they have no idea what the military's like.
Interesting. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I know the person that I did know in college had a really good experience, and he's still like after he graduated, he's like having a blast in the army. He joined the army. He didn't join the Marines.
I mean,
But I guess it's different for everyone, and maybe you
yeah.
just got the short end of the stick type
Yeah,
of thing.
it did. Like I do know some people that have like a really good time, honestly. Like I have friends that are like literally have like a great time chilling, like working literally 7 a.m., get off at like 3:30 or earlier. Some days they don't work, and it's like that's great. Like it works out for you. You get to do what you want to do. I guess like because of my leadership, how it affected me and how I tried to push through it. And as soon as like this one incident happened, and that was really just like that's it. Because like I could have stayed in. I did everything. Like I did all the paperwork. I did everything I wanted to do to stay in for another 4 years. I was this close to change my job. It was about to get approved, and this last thing, and that was like that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out. So
Because I remember your third year, so my junior year, I was texting you, and then you're like, I don't know if I should re-enlist. And I was like, and I immediately said, fuck no. And then you were like, why? And I was like, Tracy, look at all of our past messages and all the conversations we had every time you come back. You're having a horrible time, basically, from what I'm hearing. But I understand. Like, that's why I texted you. I understand because you're comfortable with, like, you're already used to the routine and you're already used to how it's like, and then the pay's there already, so you know it's guaranteed pay and stuff like that. And I was like, Tracy, but do you really want that for yourself? And you're like, I don't know, man. I had to think about it, and I was like, if you want my personal opinion, I literally said a dead ass to you. I was like, you want my personal opinion? I think you should get out.
Yeah, so like I was okay, so I was like on the edge of deciding, but I was like, okay, let me at least give this one more chance and do my paperwork. So I know if I did wanted to, I still have my foot in the door, you know. So I did everything, and at that time, the reason why I was reconsidering was because I was like, okay, I can change my job. So I looked at it like at the very beginning, and basically to get the most out of the military, you have to learn early, like the requirements, then you have to execute as fast as you can. So like I wanted to change my job. Now my ASVAB score, it's like a test to get into the military, was not high enough. I had to retake it. So I was like, okay. So on my second year in the military, I was like, okay, I got to retake this test. I can take this course. It's a month long. Did all the paperwork, got into the course, retook the test, got the higher score. So that was done. So I was like, okay, now all I have to focus on my scores, my PFT physical fitness test score, my combat fitness test score, my rifle range score, all the other scores that like how I am at work, how I know my job and stuff like that, and do martial arts. And I was like, okay, all these scores consider into my re-enlistment. So I was like, okay, now I was checking off boxes as I was going through like as time was flying by, got a high score and everything, and I was like, okay, now I'm set. And I started my stuff, and people really liked me, like in that job field community. They were like, because part of the process is you have to get interviewed by people that are higher ups in the job field that you want to go in, so they can see how you are, how you gonna like how, are you gonna be beneficial for future Marines and stuff like that. So I had some really good comments on my like interviews and stuff like that. But it was that last time, like I was just like, no, I don't want to do it, and I had to pull my package back while I was sitting up at headquarters. And
Yeah, I think I remember you texting me about that.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I get this benefit now, I get this benefit now. This is how much increased pay I have if I stay.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, but do you want to go through that?
See, okay, so yes, I did probably pull like the short end of this, whatever
Stick,
yeah, of the stick. But you know, like I did meet some really like I did had a good time. Like I got to go to like I did a field op to Norway, and that was probably the best time I ever had in like my entire enlistment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went to Norway. We totally like different like state and shit like that. And I had a good time because like you're only like the people that are there is your unit. You're literally stuck with your coworkers every single day. You see them every day, you work with them, that's all you have. So our bond with each other grew. We grew so much closer. We went to the bar together. We hung out together at work. We had like stupid rap battles at night and stuff like it was all fun.
Yeah.
So like but like once we got back to the States, because like we had the freedom to, disperse, that's when like kind of like just
changed.
Yeah, changed.
Again. Yeah. I guess that's like guess that goes where like, everything is based off experience, the experience that you have. Because
Yeah.
I would believe you would probably have the same thing, like the same experiences that you had in Norway within college too. Because it just depends on, like I said, the experiences. So like there's definitely pros and cons to the military, but there's definitely pros and cons to college too. Because like you definitely for sure will have those type of experiences in college. Like
Yeah.
you'd be like, yo, have you heard of this thing called bucket night? It's like, no, what's that? It's like it's on Wednesday, but I have class the next day. Fuck that, just come out with us.
A day.
All right, come out at the time of your life. You end up like chilling until 3 o'clock in the morning, talking, having a good time. Next thing you know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You're like, please, professor, cancel the class. Please, professor, cancel the class. Or you're like, I'm going to skip the class for today.
Damn.
I got lucky twice, and my professor canceled. But there were some unfortunate times where I went in there with a hoodie and I just looked down like this, and I was like, I'm so tired.
Damn. See, sometimes I feel like, Tracy, maybe you should have gone to college. But then I was like, if I did, this is I guess, like, this kind of faith that, like, I was put on, like, like, I got to grow up, I got to learn a lot and be a lot more wiser than a lot of other people with the same age as me. So
Yeah, definitely. Were there still immature people in the military?
yes, most
Yeah.
definitely. But it's like it's how you take it. Like, a lot of stuff I learned is like how a true leader is. Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of leader managers, whatever, like, influences and shit like that. Like, it's like, I take care of you and stuff, but it's like it's so different. Like, you don't really know what it is if you actually have never done it before.
Yeah, that's
If you
true.
actually have taken care of the people that you were in charge of, no matter what, you put them in front of you, you ask them how you're doing, like, you actually have like close relationships. So that was really cool.
Yeah, like checking up on them, making sure they're yeah. True. We're about to hit our halftime break, basically. So we'll come back to the leadership conversation after the breaks. During this break, I'm going to need to mention we're still looking for sponsors. If anyone wants to sponsor us, we're open to sponsors. We could talk about it on the podcast. We have a lot of talented friends that come onto this podcast. So if you need it in a video or something like that, we could do it for you. Just let us know. But we'll see you in 30 seconds to a minute, or you could just skip on ahead and we'll be right back. And we are back. So last time you talked about how you really respect leadership qualities and stuff like that in the military, and how that basically defines you and makes you more mature, especially during like our age at the time when we just left of high school and stuff like that. Yeah, I definitely can relate to that in a way, because the reason why I asked you, like, are there any immature people in the military, because like I feel like it's the same for college too. I feel like for both ways, like once you leave high school and you leave home, you get to see who still stays in their immature mindset and who like really like grows up quickly. Because when I left and stuff like that, I was seeing, like, especially when you have roommates, you get to see the tendencies of like depending on whose roommates is who. Like, I would have friends, or my roommates would tell me about like their previous roommates, where like they wouldn't clean anything, they wouldn't do any dishes, there was no communication and stuff like that, and they would just party recklessly, they wouldn't go to class and stuff like that, and I was just like, dude, like, where's your maturity and stuff like that? Because like, I mean, we both come from like very Asian backgrounds where like you had to grow up quick or else get the fuck out of my house type of thing, or like they just call you stupid all the time. So like, I mean, when I graduated from high school, I went straight to helping my dad, right? So I was helping with the bills, I was working my job, I was managing a girlfriend at a time, and fucking doing college at the same time all at once. So I had to take care of the dogs, take care of the house. If my dad needed help with the bills, I would give it to him. And then with my girlfriend, it's like, okay, we could go on dates, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And I like got into that very mature mindset until I went into universities, right? And then that's when like I understand kind of where like, oh, like I'm free, blah, 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 let me have some fun type of thing. Like I did go through those stages of just having fun, but I also still have my very mature mindset. Like, I feel like you could have both. It's like, have fun when it's respectable to have fun. Like if you're going to a party, if you're socializing and stuff like that, like be you. But if you need to be mature in the environment, like there's
a time and place for everything.
don't stay like a head ass, just like actually mature yourself. And when you said you like there's people that you look up to and you want to get those values, like you're a leader, you need to help each other and stuff like that. That's how it was like when I was like seeing other organizations, right? And one really welcoming one was like FACT. That was one organization I joined in college. And you already know me in high school, like I always wanted so many things, but I never really went to go pursue it. And then like I've always wanted to get to know more people and be that extrovert, but I was always more of an introvert extrovert. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the events, whatever, da da da. My friends convinced me, like Zach, JP, and all that type of stuff, like because I knew them from high school. I just got to know JP there, like Zach and Jordan and them. And the leaders in the organizations were very welcoming, and I was like, wow, like so this is how it feels like to like be known and like people don't ignore you type of
Yeah.
thing. They're like, oh hey, like you're the new transfer student, right? I was like, yeah. It's like, so you do vlogs? I was like, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and they're
damn.
like, you should try out to X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh, come out to this next thing. And then like when I came to parties too, they recognized like, yo, you're the transfer student. Like, except drunk now. I was like, you're the transfer student. What's
I'm
good?
so
Stuff
dead.
like that. I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm like, wow, people are very welcoming. I'm like, this is like what I want to be. And like also seeing the leaders too, that like they're a leader of this organization and another organization while doing 16 credits and working. I'm like, I could do that, right? I was like, and it was funny because Zach and I, we came with the goal. We're like, as soon as we transfer, like, let's take over. Within after our first semester of transferring, the next year got another role,
Oh,
and
damn.
then we
Okay.
participated in basically every single event. And then the senior year started a new organization and still was like one of the like the we didn't have a role, but you know when you're the older head, you're still like someone that's opinion is very valued.
Was that blank that started in senior year
Yeah,
then?
Blank was the one that was started, and then we were still like he was still involved in his fraternity. I unfortunately left because of personal reasons,
Yeah.
but then we were also both really known and still the fat community and helping out and stuff like that with events. So we were still very involved, and then also running SK at the time too, and trying to figure all that out with doing school at the same time because that shit was confusing as hell. With school, it's like, all right, what's everyone's time schedule? Fuck, everyone has to do something. All right, when do I have to release this? I don't know. Oh fuck, I have this final exam due this day.
Yeah.
It's like I can't wait to freaking graduate and stuff like that.
But it's like, I don't know, it's like you're setting a good example of doing all these things at once, and now you look back, you're like, damn, I really did all of this shit at once. Like, props to you, Vinny.
I mean,
Okay.
look at you. You finished the military going through like probably a lot of trauma and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Like I was pushing myself a lot to the limit. Like I remember this one time. It's like um, I was doing bodybuilding. That was actually last year. So I was like, okay, you know what?
Oh yeah, that was like your first passion. You're like, yo, Vinny, I'm into something.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I was like, I really want to get into a sport, and it's like, but it's like I feel like every other sport is like too late to start because like more like basketball, volleyball, you all start at like a young age, and I'm like, bro, I'm 21. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I was like, I see a lot of bodybuilders like even like when they're older and stuff. So I was like, dude, let me give it a try. And then I just had a diet, 5 meals a day, specific workouts, and I started seeing changes. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fire. Like, like I was on my schedule, I had everything set up, and at the same time, I was also doing college. So cause I was like, man, my mentor is pushing me to do college. I'm not a bitch. I was like, give me college. So I was doing a full time job, bodybuilding, and college with dealing on top of that all this shit that was going on
Yeah.
at work. Yeah, so I did bodybuilding for like 4 months. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish, but I definitely do think about going back to it because
Yeah. You definitely had the results. I mean, you showed me the results. So like,
yeah,
you kept on grinding for it. But like, see, that's like, you just have as much praise to have for on yourself too. Like, not a lot of people can say that they gone through all that shit and
yeah,
are still here today type of thing. And then like some people who get out too, they either re-enlist because that's all they know, or like they are like really PTSD and going down a hole, or they're your story where you're just like figuring things out, or like, they're getting up there, they're trying new things and like just adapting to the new environment type of thing.
So like, I mean, yeah, like a lot of reason why people re-enlist. Like I have friends that re-enlisted because like they got married very early, wife has a kid, and it's like, nah, how am I gonna pay for it? Okay, I
Mm.
just do another 4 years. Another reason like would be simply I had a really good time. Like I know this one Marine, it looked like she had a great time, and she re-enlisted for another one. She reached all her goals that she wanted in the military. I have a friend, like, he re-enlisted, and he's in drill instructor school right now. He's in Paris Island. in South Carolina, and he's gonna become one of those drill sergeant that everyone knows about. Yeah. So for the Marine Corps, so that's really dope.
Yeah, I mean, it comes to show that like you just need to go the path that you want to go, and if it's for you, it's for you. So
See, that's why I was so close on staying in, because I was like, okay, I can either change my job or I can go be a drill instructor because that's my shit. Like I love showing so much passion and in helping people.
yeah, I personally think you made the right choice because I think you could have did it in a different way, but I think the military was a very like it was both a pro and a con experience for you, where like it definitely had its benefits, but I think in my personal opinion, when kept on talking to you and like our friendship for 8 years, I was like, you need to eat more. Like you need to taste different type of foods in a way. So I was like, I think you should experience it outside of the military to see if you like it out here too.
I mean, I like it. Like as soon I get to sleep and I can tell someone to fuck off if I wanted to. Like it's like that's great. Like I can really speak my mind now. Like that I'm out, and like especially when I got into photography. So that's really cool.
Yeah. You've been on that photography grind. I've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, very different paths as we can see. Like I mean, it's very different but very similar. Like it's both college and the military is like you had to choose to grow up basically, or you have to grow up because you're on your own. And then it's like finding leaderships within like communities and stuff like that, and like you're doing your own thing, and you have to like meet the requirements. Like college, you had to meet the requirements of passing, or else you had to go to fail, and you had to repay the debt and stuff like that. And then military, you're in your contract, and you're required to do these type of things. And then graduating, I mean, and stuff like that, and like finishing your 4-year contract, it's like okay, now it's the choice because like some people go back to grad school or go straight into their job, and then like you had the choice to go back to the military again or do your own thing too. And it's like the two main values of like both of those things is like personal experience, right? It's like figuring out what's for you. Like me, would I personally go to college again? Hell no. But it's like I would never take it back because I wouldn't have met so many amazing people and discovered who I really was and was able to test myself and make all these connections if it wasn't for college, And like at the end of the day, the degree is still a really good achievement and a good stepping stone. Not saying you need it, right? Like I would always like debate like, oh, I wonder how it would have been like if I didn't go straight to college, and just like focused on stuff. But at the same time, would I have focused on the things I know right now? Because definitely high school me would have probably I would be a manager at PacSun, or I would be still in the pharmacy right now. So, or like I would like have like some type of job like in that field because that's where I was going. But during college, that's when I got to discover my own creative passion. That's why I'm doing these podcasts and doing all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. And I still have the psychology job just in case if I need to make money and still work on this as a side hustle.
See, things happen for a reason, and like I got to figure out my stuff too. Like I actually am really into fitness and stuff like that. Like I would never know that if I never joined the military, to be honest. And like I guess like now getting out, like I have the chance now to kind of dive into my creative
interest,
and definitely am curious where that is gonna go.
Yes. Well, any final thoughts that you have on anything? Any final questions?
No.
All right. So I guess that's basically going to wrap up this conversation of. If you want to know a little bit about more things and stuff like that, you can put it in the comments below. Maybe we could touch back up on it and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, the message is like, you got to go through your own experiences. And one of those experiences is what if you don't go to college too? There's people who have done that I personally seen that just work, get connections, and they're getting a good job as much as like someone who graduated with a degree too or with the military benefits. But, everything is for a reason. Experiences and like working your ass off. I think all of it's working your ass off for each one of every single thing, any way you go. It's depending on like how bad you want it. But Tracy, thank you for coming on this podcast.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. I would probably have you on a future one as well. for everyone who's listening in, if you could please, follow us on our listening platforms, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, stuff like that. And if you're watching from the YouTube channel and like you're seeing us and stuff like that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, click that bell for notifications when it's going to come out and stuff like that. And I hope you guys all have a blessed day. Peace.
Peace.